Have you ever been in the shadow of someone else's beauty? Have you ever been chosen not for love, but for duty? I am Leah, first daughter, first wife, but never the first choice. They tied the veil heavy on my head and gave me to Jacob in the night. By morning, his anger was fire, for he wanted Rachel and not me. But hear this: men may overlook you, but God does not. As the houses say, duk wanda ya yi hakuri zai sha ruwa mai sanyi, which means the one who endures will drink cold water at last. I, Leah, unloved by man, became the mother of nations. Through me, kings will rise. You are specially welcome to Bible Story Time with Amy. Biblical stories infused Nigerian flavor and heavenly lessons. Today, we'll be looking at the complicated love story between Jacob, Rachel, and Leah from Genesis chapter 29 to 30. Reimagine from Leah's point of view. Let's get into the story. My name is Leah, daughter of Laban, elder sister of Rachel. From birth, I carry the title of first daughter, but not the gift of beauty. Some call me weak eyed, others say my eyes are gentle, but in truth, my eyes have always carried more stories than my lips could tell. In our land, the first daughter is expected to marry first. It is dignity, it is honor, it is tradition. No younger sister can pass before her elder. But what happens when beauty skips the firstborn and settles richly on the second? From childhood, I lived in Rachel's shadow. She was like the Abuja sunrise, bright, glowing, and impossible to ignore. Suitors came to my father's compound, but their eyes followed only her. Me, I was the one left behind to pound millet, to grind herbs, to serve water. In Hausa, they say, Idan kaza ta yi kyau, tana zama a bakin titi. When a chicken is beautiful, it stays by the roadside for all to see. That was Rachel. I was the quiet one, overlooked. Then came Jacob, a strong man, strong arms, steady steps, a man who carried the smell of sheep and the determination of destiny. From the first day, his eyes locked on Rachel. He served my father 7 years just to marry her, and to him, those years were like a few days. Their laughter by the well, the stolen glances. My chest ached, but my lips stayed sealed. The sun was folding itself into the horizon, painting the clay walls of our compound with orange fire. Women's voices carried through the air as they pounded yam, wrappers tightly tied around their waists, beads clinking against wooden pestles. The smell of palm oil stew and roasted fish lingered. I sat on a low stool, threading cowries into Rachel's hair. She hummed a tune, her beauty glowing like the moon after rainfall, her skin smooth as fresh palm kernel, her laughter light like the jingles of ankle beads. I, Leah, the elder sister, walked quietly. My eyes were not sharp, my face not the kind men lingered on. From childhood, it was Rachel's name they sang, Rachel's face they praised. Mine was for duty, hers for delight. That evening, Baba called me into his inner room. The room smelled of goat skin and old kola nut. He sat cross-legged on a mat, chewing slowly, his eyes steady. Leah, he began, voice heavy. It is time. I lowered my eyes. Time for what, Baba? He spat the cola hawks aside. Jacobs has served me 7 years. He thinks he will marry Rachel, but no, it cannot be so. In our land, the elder must go before the younger. Ọmọ àgbà kí wà lọ́jà, kí orí ọmọ tuntun wó. When an elder is in the market, the head of a child cannot go crooked. My chest tightened. But Papa, Jacob does not love me. His heart beats only for Rachel. He waved his hand, his wrapper falling loose at his shoulder. It is custom that keeps the fence strong. Do you want shame to fall on our house? Will people say Laban gave his second daughter while the first still sits unmarried? Tears burned in my eyes. My tongue was tied. To argue with a father was to cut curses. Tomorrow, Baba said firmly, you'll be veiled, layers upon layers. The drums will play, the women will dance, the wine will flow. He will not know. By dawn, you will be his wife. My lips trembled. And Rachel? He looked at me chewing slowly, his face without mercy. Rachel will wait, her time will come. But you, your time is now. The compound outside was alive with preparations. Women strung beads, children fetched water from the well, goats bleated as they were tethered for slaughter. Drums beat their test rhythm. Dum, 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 pa, dum, dum, dum. I sat alone in the corner of my room. Wrappers piled beside me. Indigo, coral, brown, gold, thick veils. I touched them and shivered. Inside me, a storm raged. Do I keep silent and obey? Do I cry out and expose Papa's plan? Will Jacob curse me? Will Rachel hate me forever? But in those days, a daughter's voice was drowned beneath her father's command. And so I whispered only to myself, God of my fathers, see me. If no man will choose me, let heaven not forget me. The drums outside grew louder. The women's ululations pierced the night. The rappers were brought in, and I, Leah, was clothed, not as myself, but as a shadow. The night had fallen thick, the kind that swallows every corner of the compound. Fire burned low, smoke curling into the star-studded sky. From the courtyard, drums spoke in urgent rhythm. Do 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 pa. Women ululated, men clapped, and the air smelled of palm wine and roasted goat meat. I sat in the bridal hut, surrounded by women. Their wrappers were tied high, beads glistening at their necks, hands busy adjusting mine. Hold still, one of them said, knotting yet another wrapper around my waist. The tighter the cloth, the firmer the marriage will be. Another woman pressed coral beads into my palm. Smile, Yahoo. A wife must not carry sorrow into her husband's house. I smiled faintly, but my heart was trembling. My face was covered with layers of veil, thick enough that even my breath felt muffled. Through the hum of voices, I caught Rachel's laugh, faint, sharp, like a knife cutting into me. She knew nothing of Papa's plan. Tonight was supposed to be hers. My aunt leaned close and whispered, you are the first daughter. The honor is yours. Custom cannot be broken. Custom, honor, words as heavy as stone. Inside me, my spirit whispered, but what of love? The time came. Women surrounded me, singing songs of marriage. Ìyàwó dìde o, ìyàwó dìde o. Bride rise up, bride rise up. They led me into the courtyard where torch flames licked the darkness. Calabashes of palm wine passed from hand to hand. Kola nut cracked between teeth. Men's laughter rumbled like thunder. And there, across the firelight, Jacob sat, regal in his white wrappers, eyes burning with hunger and joy. His gaze never left mine. No, not me. Rachel, whom he thought was beneath these veils. My legs felt like water as he led me to him. Baba placed my hand into his, firm and final. Jacob's hand was warm, strong, and closed from labor. My heart twisted. The man has never once looked at me the way he looked now. Later, in the privacy of the marriage tent, silence pressed in. Jacob pulled me close, his breath hot against my cheek. Rachel, he whispered, voice thick with longing. My beloved, at last. 7 years I have waited. 7 years of sweat and labor. Tonight, you are mine. My lips parted. I wanted to say, I am not Rachel. I'm Leah, but the words froze in my throat. My father's command echoed louder. Tradition holds the fence strong. So I lay still, veiled in silence. My heart pounded like the drums outside. Jacob's touch was tender, but his tenderness was not mine. It belonged to Rachel's shadow. In the dark, he whispered dreams. Our children will run through this courtyard. Our love will outshine the stars. You are the joy of my heart. Each word pierced me like a blade. His love was real, but not for me. And yet, my body, my life, was his tonight. God, do you see me? Do you hear me? Must I always live in another woman's shadow? The night stretched long, heavy with secrets. Outside, the compound had grown quieter. The drums were silent now, the fires dim, only the sound of crickets and the occasional cough of a drunken uncle who had slept off on the ground. Inside the tent, Jacob slept soundly, his arm heavy across me, his breath steady, his face peaceful. For him, it was joy. For me, it was a prison. And I, Leah, the elder daughter, the veiled bride, laid awake, knowing that morning would expose me. Morning with its cruel light. The cock crowed once, then again, splitting the silence of dawn. The sun crept slowly over the compound walls, its golden finger stretching into the marriage tent. Jacob stared beside me, his breath warm against my ear. He shifted, sat up, and reached for me, his hand brushing the edge of my veil. A smile broke over his face. Rachel, he whispered, voice soft with triumph. The sun has finally risen on us. My chest tightened. The veil slipped. The light touched my face. And then his smile cracked. His eyes widened. His mouth fell open. His voice came low, then rose like thunder. Leah. I flinched as he struck. My lord. He leapt from the bed, wrappers flying, eyes blazing like coals. This is not possible. This cannot be. He seized me by the arm, shaking. Where is Rachel? What trick is this? I bowed my head, my tears spilling onto the mat. I am your wife now. No, his shout rattled the walls of the tent. Not you. Never you. The compound stirred with noise. Servant paused meat stacks, clay pots of water balanced on heads. Elders shuffled from their huts, wrappers tied hastily. Drums from the previous night still leaned against walls, quiet now, but as if listening. Rachel burst into the scene, her face aflame with anger and humiliation. She wore a wrapper hastily tied, her hair half done. Jacob, she cried, what is happening? Jacob pointed at me, his arms trembling. It is Leah. They have given me Leah in your place. The courtyard roared alive. Women covered their mouths, gasping. Men muttered proverbs. When a younger one hides the face, the elder fills the space. It is custom. The elder cannot sit back while the younger passes, another old man said. Rachel's eyes burned like fire. She turned on Baba, who had just stepped forward, staff in hand, calm as Hamatan wind. Baba, she shouted, how could you? You deceived him. You shamed me. Laban chewed slowly on a kola nut, his voice deliberate. It is not our way to give the younger before the elder. Did Jacob not know this? Did he not hear our proverbs? Omo agba kiwa loja, ki ori omo tutuwo. Jacob's fist clenched. His voice was thunder. You tricked me. I worked 7 years for Rachel. 7 years. And you bring me Leah in her place? The elders murmured, some nodding in agreement with Jacob, others shrugging at Laban's authority. The air crackled with gossip, children peering from behind clay walls, women whispering in corners. I stood at the center, veiled no longer, exposed before all. My heart pounded in my ears. My sister's glare seared me. My husband's anger crushed me. My father's silence bound me. Inside, a voice wailed, why, God? Why must I always be the second choice? The shadow, the unwanted. But my lips said nothing. What voice did I have here? A daughter's silence? A wife's duty? A woman swallowed by men's bargain? Jacob turned on Laban, his whole frame trembling. What do you want of me? Speak. Do you think I will keep Leah's wife and let my beloved go? Laban's eyes narrowed. Finish Leah's bridal week, then take Rachel also. But he raised his hand, silencing Jacob's protest. You would work another 7 years for her. The courtyard fell into a hush. Jacob's face hardened. His breath lagged. Turned away from Laban, from Rachel, from me. His voice was like cracked stones. 7 more years. He spat on the ground and stomped into the distance, wrappers flapping, his shadow tall in the morning sun. I stood still, the world, the world blurring. Rachel turned her face from me, tears wetting her cheeks. The compound murmured, tongues wagging. I lifted my eyes to the heavens, where the sun glowed unbothered by the drama of mortals. Lord, you see me, even if no man does, even if my husband's love is far, even if my father's heart is cold, even if my sister's eyes are fire. You see me, remember me. And so in that bitter morning, I chose silence. But silence does not mean peace. The compound no longer felt like home. It felt like a stage. Every day, Jacob walked across its length, and every pair of eyes followed him. Servants whispered, children giggled, goats bleated in the corners, and between Rachel and me, silence stretched like a rope pulled so tight. The mornings began with women pounding yam, wrappers tight at the waist, and beads clinking at their neck as pistols rose and fell. Smoke curled from clay stoves where palm oil hissed, and the smell of roasting plantain carried through the air. Rachel often sat on a stool in the shade, her skin oiled, her hair braided with cowries. Jacob, Jacob would pass by, his hands brushing her shoulders, his eyes softening as he looked at her. Beloved, he would murmur, for a stick with tenderness. Are you well? Do you need anything? She would smile like a queen. I am well, my lord. And I, Leah, would be in the background, hands in the basin, scrubbing wrappers till my fingers wrinkled, the soap stinging my eyes. His eyes never lingered on me the way they lingered on her. By the well, women whispered as they draw water. One said, balancing her calabash. Jacob's heart is trapped in Rachel's eyes. Leah is only a wife by name. True, another agreed, adjusting her wrapper. But is it not Leah who cooks, who cleans, who rises before dawn? Rachel enjoys love. Leah carries duty. They laughed, shaking their heads, but their words pierced me. One afternoon, as we sat weaving mats, Rachel broke the silence. Leah, she said, her tone sharp, tell me, do you not feel shame lying in the bed that was meant for me? I swallowed hard, my fingers fumbling with the raffia. It was not my choice. Baba commanded it. Her eyes flamed, and yet you kept silent. Let him touch you, thinking you and me. You let him speak love into your ears, words meant for me. Tears pricked my eyes. What voice did I have? You know as well as I. Baba's word is law. Rachel hissed and turned away. Then carry your law. I would carry his love. Her words stayed with me long after. One night, I rose to fetch water. Passing by the courtyard, I saw Jacob pacing, his wrapper loose, his hands clenched behind his back. The moonlight painted his face with shadows. God of Abraham, he muttered, his voice hoarse. Why this burden? My heart loves Rachel, but custom has bound me to Leah. Am I a man divided? How can I give joy to one without breaking the other? 7 more years, Lord. 7. I froze in the shadow, my heart aching. He never knew I had. He never knew I prayed to. The elders, sipping palm wine in the evenings, often spoke in riddles. Two wives, one husband, one chuckled. It's like two goats tied to one rope. If they do not pull together, they will drag each other into the mud. Another added, the man who builds two huts must learn to sleep in storms. Their laughter rang out, but for me, it was salt in an open wound. Each night, I lay on my mat listening to the sound of laughter from Rachel's side of the compound. Jacob's voice low and tender, Rachel's giggle light as a flute. I turned my face to the wall, tears soaking my wrapper. Lord, do you see me? Do you see the women unloved, unseen? If love will not be mine, then give me children. Let me not be empty handed. Let me be remembered. And in that whispered prayer, a seed of hope stirred. The season changed. Rains came and went, the earth swelling with green, the compound buzzing with harvest. And then my womb quickened. I, Leah, the unwanted wife, felt life stirring within me. The night I gave birth, the compound filled with ululations. Leah has born a son. Leah has born a son. Women dance in wrappers of bright indigo and red, rattling gorgs and clapping. The drum returned, not for the wedding this time, but for a bath. I cradled the child to my chest, my body trembling with both weakness and joy. Reuben, I whispered, see, a son. Now Jacob will look at me. Now he must love me. When Jacob entered, his face softened only slightly. He lifted the child, nodded once, and placed him back into my arms, his eyes already strayed towards Rachel's heart. My heart sank, but I told myself he would change. Surely he would change. Rachel's face darkened with envy. Day after day, she watched me nurse my child, my body swollen again with life. She snapped at servants, her beauty shadowed with bitterness. One morning, she confronted Jacob in the courtyard, her voice sharp as a pestle against mortar. Give me children or else I die. Jacob's face flushed with anger. Am I in the place of God who has withheld children from you? The compound fell into silence, servants lowering their eyes, children scurrying away. Rachel turned, her tears spilling, and fled into her hut. I sat in the shade, cradling Reuben, my lips pressed tight. My heart whispered, God has seen my misery. He has remembered me. One by one, sons filled my arms. Simeon, Levi, Judah. Each birth was a cry of hope, each name a prayer wrapped in meaning. Because the Lord has heard, He gave me this son. Now my husband will be attached to me. This time I will praise the Lord. The compound echoed with my children's laughter. Their small feet kicked up dust. Their hands tugged at my wrapper as I cooked. They called me Mama Reuben, Mama Simeon, but Jacob's heart remained steady only for Rachel. At the stream, women bent low to fetch water, their voices carrying in the breeze. Hmm, one said, filling her calabash. Leah is fruitful like the pawpaw tree. Another laughed, but does fruit win love? Rachel's womb may be empty, but her husband's heart overflows for her. The first shook her head. Better a womb full and a heart empty than beauty without children. Children are the real ornament. Their words followed me like a shadow. One evening, Rachel burst into my hut, her face burning. Leah, she snapped. So you think bearing sons makes you better? You think it gives you victory? I looked at her, tired but steady, a baby nursing at my breast. It is not I, it is the Lord who remembered me. Her lips trembled, her eyes filled with fire. Then let my maid bear in my place. I will not be shamed while you boast. And so the rivalry grew, stretching beyond our wombs into the lives of our maid servants, dragging the whole compound into a quiet war. At night, while my children slept beside me, I stared at the thatched roof, the shadows flickering in moonlight. Lord, I thought, perhaps love would come with sons. I thought his heart would soften with each child, but still his eyes set for Rachel. Still his laughter is hers. I touched little Judah's cheek, soft as ripe fruit. Then let it be enough. If man will not see me, then let heaven see me. If Jacob's love is far, then let your favor be near. Let these children be my remembrance. And with that prayer, I breathed in peace, if only for a moment. The compound slept, wrapped in the hush of midnight. Fires had burned low. leaving only the glow of embers. The goat had quietened. Children's breathing rose and fell inside their mother's huts, and the drums that had beaten all evening leaned silent against the wall. I stared on my mat. Judah crawled against my side, his small breath warm on my skin, yet sleep did not find me. My heart was heavy, and then I heard it. Footstep outside the courtyard. Slow, restless, pacing. I rose quietly, adjusting my wrapper, and peered through the doorway. There was Jacob. The moon poured silver across his shoulder, his wrapper loose around his waist. He walked back and forth like a man carrying a weight too heavy for his frame. His hands rubbed his beard, then clenched into fist. His voice broke the silence. God of Abraham, he muttered, his voice trembling. What have I done to deserve this? He paused, lifting his face towards the stars. 7 years I labored, sweating under the sun, bending my back, bleeding my hands, all for Rachel. Her laughter was my strength. Her beauty was my dream. 7 years, Lord, his voice cracked. What did I find on the wedding night? Leah. He spat the name like bitter cola. My knees weakened. I pressed against the doorway, my heart pounding. Jacob's voice grew softer, broken. And yet, she's not guilty. Is it her fault her father tricked me? No, but still, when I look at Leah, my heart is torn. I cannot love her. I try, but I cannot. My soul belongs to Rachel. What kind of man loves one wife and neglects the other? He sank onto a low stool, buried his face in his hands. Lord, am I a divided man? When I hold Rachel, my heart is full, but my arms are empty. When I sit with Leah, my arms are full with sons, but my heart is far away. How can I live this way? How can a man build peace in a house where two rivers flow against each other? His words pierced me, every syllable like a knife, sharp, merciless yet true. So he does try, but his heart refuses. What causes this? To be present in body, but absent in love. Tears peeled down my cheeks. I held them in, swallowing sobs so they would not betray me. I wanted to step out, to speak. Jacob, I never wanted this either. I never wanted to be your burden. I too was trapped by Baba's will. I too am torn, but my feet refused me. My tongue was clay. Instead, I listened as he rose again, pacing, his voice hoarse with prayer. God of my fathers, show me mercy. Teach me how to be a man in this house. Do not let me hate Leah, though my heart belongs to Rachel. Do not let me despise the mother of my sons. Give me strength for this storm. He lifted his hands towards the heavens, the moonlight tracing his fingers. Then slowly he sank to his knees in the dust, his shoulders shaking. I turned away, slipping back into my hut, my tears soaking my wrapper. So he cries too, not only I. His heart is torn as mine is torn. Perhaps we are both prisoners in this net my father has cast. I lay beside my sleeping children, listening to the quiet of the night, and in my heart a whisper rose. If man cannot love me, then God will. If Jacob's heart is divided, then the Lord will be my portion. The years rolled by. The compound no longer whispered my shame with every sunrise. Instead, children's laughter echoed against the clay walls, filling spaces where loneliness used to sit like a shadow. I had four sons: Reuben, Simeon, Levi. Each bet I whispered, now my husband will love me. But Jacob's eyes still followed Rachel. When my womb swelled again, I prayed in silence. No longer let this child win Jacob's heart. That prayer had broken on the rocks of reality too many times. This time I prayed differently. Lord, I am tired. Tired of chasing love that will not come. Tired of waiting for Jacob's eyes to soften. If he will not see me, then let the heavens see me. If he will not love me, then let this child be a song of praise to you alone. That night I gave birth. The air was cool with harmattan breeze. The women gathered with calabashes of warm water, their wrappers tied high, singing softly as they encouraged me. Push, Leah, push. Your strength is a river. Your pain will bring joy. The cry of a child broke into my night. My son. I held him close, his skin warm, his cry fierce, like the beat of a talking drum. Tears blurred my eyes, but these were not the bitter tears of rejection. They were tears of release. I whispered, Judah, his name shall be Judah. This time I would praise the Lord. And in that moment, the burden fell. The women ululated, their voices rising high into the sky. Leah has borne another son. Servants clapped, children danced, their bare feet kicking dust. Even the elders muttered, a fruitful woman is a tree that gives shade. Rachel stood at a distance, her face shadowed, her womb was still empty. Jacob walked past, his eyes glancing at the child, then turning quickly back towards Rachel's hut. But my heart was no longer chained to his gaze. That night, while Judah slept against me, I sat in the courtyard, the moon casting silver light on the clay walls. The compound was quiet, save for the soft cough of an elder in his hut and the rustle of palm leaves in the breeze. I lifted my eyes to the heavens. Lord, I see it now. My life is not measured by Jacob's love, it is measured by your remembrance. You have seen me, you have heard me. Now with Judah, you have given me more than I asked, a legacy. For from him kings shall rise. From him your promises shall flow. I smiled, my tears drying in the harmattan air. Now, when people tell my story, they may begin with Rachel's beauty, but they end with my legacy. So let them say, Rachel was loved more. Let them say, Jacob's heart was never mine. Still, heaven wrote my name in gold. As the houses say, Allah shini mi roba azaki. It is God who shares destiny, and mine was to carry kings in my womb. I am Leah, the woman forgotten by man, but forever remembered by God. Lessons of faith. Lesson 1. Human love is fragile, but God's love is constant. Leah's greatest pain was Jacob's rejection. Yet, when man overlooked her, God saw her. This teaches us not to measure our worth by who loves us or rejects us, but by the one who never forgets. Lesson 2. Destiny is not decided by human preference. Jacob preferred Rachel, but heaven chose Leah as the mother of kings and priests. Man cannot cancel God's decision. So, in your life, for whatever reason where you think you have been rejected, it is not by the rejection of man, it is being chosen by God that matters. Lesson 3. Patience and endurance carry unseen reward. Leah endured years of quiet rivalry, but her name was sealed in Israel's history. Patience is the father of character. Suru ni baba iwa, as the Yoruba says. Lesson 4. God lifts the lowly. Leah went from the unwanted wife to the honored mother of nations. Allah baya barin bayinsa. God does not abandon his servants. Lesson 5. Your pain can become the foundation of a legacy. Leah's tears were not wasted. They watered the soil from which Judah and eventually Christ would come. What looks like rejection today may be the root of tomorrow's greatness. Lesson 6. Comparison steals joy. Leah and Rachel's rivalry brought bitterness. Focus on your own paths. Each of them had a different blessing, but they were hyper focused on what the other had that they lacked, that they missed, and could not appreciate the blessing they each had. Lesson 7. Titles without love are empty. Being Iyale, senior wife, did not bring Leah peace because love was missing. This teaches us that honor and recognition without genuine care are hollow. This substance, not status. Seek what is real and not what is loud. Lesson 8. God remembers the forgotten. Leah's entire story is proof that heaven does not overlook the silent, the sideline, or the shadowed. Keep serving, keep trusting, and your lifting will come in due season. If this story touched you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this story so that to let the message shine. Share it with someone who needs to be reminded that God sees them. And subscribe so you don't miss more stories of faith, courage, and destiny. Because just like Leah, your story is still unfolding, and heaven has not forgotten your name. Thank you so much for listening. Do have an amazing day. Bye.